All right, everybody, welcome to our Jace Medical Threat and Risk Assessment for the week of, let's see, what's tomorrow, May 1st, 2026. My name is Aaron Asay. I'm the Executive Director of Jace Response. I just finished a webinar just a few minutes ago, so if you haven't started following those, you should at Jace Response Instagram, also jaceresponse.org, our website. You can find the information there. Tonight we talked about heat injuries and being prepared for the activities, survival scenarios involving hot environments, in the desert during the summertime and in some of our southern states. And actually, with global weirding, it could be almost anywhere. We know that 2,500 people per year die in the United States when the air conditioning goes out. We have blackouts during the summer months. So something you should keep in mind from a preparedness standpoint, and also one of the things that we want to talk about this week, because we are heading into summer, we're already starting to see some of those heat waves. And actually worldwide, it's something like 450,000 people die from heat-related injuries during heat waves and blackouts, meaning loss of electricity. So it's one of the natural disasters or natural catastrophes that can occur during the summer months in the world. So right now we are also experiencing some other natural events that have been affecting a lot of people here in the United States. It's monsoon season, and we actually know that monsoon activity is higher than in recent years in the southern middle west, the southeast, and then I believe the northwest. Actually, it doesn't matter because these monsoons can actually occur right now that appear to be able to occur anywhere. We've also had golf ball sized hail in Texas and some of the Midwest regions that have done upwards of $1 billion in damage just this last week, as well as some tornadoes that have ripped through typical communities, but tornadoes that are larger and more destructive than tornadoes in the past. So Jace Response is currently still helping with the flooding a little bit in Hawaii. And if we do see a need, we will respond to the tornadoes that are occurring right now. Jase Medical does have some products that can help you prepare for these tornadoes. Right now, we're coming out with a new product called the Bunker in a Box, which would be a great thing to keep on hand at home, in your cellar or in one of those locations where if you need to shelter in place, to have access to all of those materials, resources that you need for a crisis. So other things that are happening right now, we have been talking every week about the war. It has actually expanded yet again to include some spillover into other areas, not just in the Middle East, but also in Europe. But more importantly, here in the United States, we have an issue with the lone actors, with the copycat actors. We've had just this week some disrupted plots, as well as another assassination attempt on President Trump. And we've also had some increased cartel expansion and criminal cartel activity here in the United States that was discovered. Things that we need to keep in mind, because our communities, no matter where you are in the United States, there is presence of the cartel in every state in the US, and they're involved in criminal activities that run the whole range of activity. And our communities can be quite at risk for that. So you need to be aware and watching out for anything that's out of the normal in your neighborhood. We've talked a lot about situational awareness, but it's one of the things that I keep harping on, because as you see things happening that just don't fit in your environment, you need to be noticing those things. You need to be recognizing this is not normal for my community, for my area. I need to be more aware and perhaps say something when I see something. That holds true for criminal activity just as much as it holds true for a terrorist attack, or seeing a child taken, human trafficking, those kinds of things. You need to be willing to speak up and say something What else do we have going on? It's wildfire season. So we already have numerous locations that are burning. Fortunately, we have had, because of the monsoons, a lot of water falling out of the sky, which is alleviating some of the stress of the fire load. However, uh, there are still plenty of areas that are super dry, and we are expecting to have a very, very active wildfire season this year. So, if you live in an area that is susceptible to wildfires and you could be evacuated, be ready. Have your go bag, have your important family supplies, heirlooms, things either on a list or in a location where you can go find those things quickly, load them up into your vehicles, and leave if you have to. Create defensible spaces around your home if you're in a location that you can do that, and recognize when you need to listen to local leadership, first responders, when they tell you it's time to leave your home. Don't be one of those people that just decides to stick around and then potentially be a risk and a reason for rescuers to have to come back in and find you. Personally, I was guilty of that one time. We had a wildfire threaten our community, and we had a lot of animals that we couldn't evacuate, and I chose to stay home. Fortunately, nothing terrible came of it, but after the fact, I realized that I had actually put our community's first responders at risk by staying behind, and actually kind of sneakily staying, in my home. That's not the right thing to do. Also, we're rapidly going into hurricane season, so being ready for hurricane uh, responses, damage to your neighborhood, or taking in people that are fleeing from hurricanes. If you live in one of the hurricane susceptible areas, the East Coast, South, or in the islands out in the Pacific. So, all right, that is this week's threat assessment. If there are any questions, please just DM us at Jace Medical on our Instagram or Facebook pages, or you can send an email to our our emails, our website, or our email list. We'd be happy to respond. So thanks for joining us. See you next week.